All right. Thanks for listening. You're listening to On Deck, presented by Amazing Met Zone. I'm your boy Phil from Shirley with my boy Drewminati 82. What up, Drew?
What's going on, man? I know
I
we
feel like it's been a while, bro. I haven't seen you. I missed that face.
got a little hiatus, but we're back. You
We're
know,
here. We're here. We're here. NBA Finals coming to a start right now. But what we want to talk about right now, we're going to be doing this a lot, is our top five in different categories. And we figured we'd start with wrestlers, our top five favorite wrestlers. Doesn't have to be the top five of all time. Who's your top five? Who's your guys? And I'm going to start right now. My number one, it's got to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's got to be. How about you, Drew? What are you going? We'll go back and forth.
yeah. I mean, I hate to say the same one, but yeah, Stone Cold's my number one, man. Growing up watching that era, like I was right in it. I went to go see him in Madison Square Garden. Like nothing hits you like that broken glass and the rattlesnake coming out and just fucking people up, man. Chugging beers, giving people the finger. Like that guy's he's amazing. And to see where he came from too, like I mean, he was like they didn't know what to do with him. And then he did that Austin 316 promo and he just skyrocketed, man. Like no one, I don't think anyone could do a promo like him.
Dude, think about wrestling in like the 98, 99 time, like how big it was. You know what I mean? Like you weren't a cornball loser if you were watching wrestling. You know what I mean? You were a cool kid. You were hanging out watching wrestling. Like that's how it was. It was just different. Like the times were different. I know, like with the TV and stuff, the way they were battling on Raw and Nitro was just getting crazy. But Stone Cold got to be number one. Not my number two. It might shock a lot of people, but I got to go with my boy Mick Foley, Mankind. I loved Mick, bro. The way this guy would put his body on the line all the time, just as a fellow fat slob, as a fellow fathlete. I always loved Mick Foley. That was my guy. Kills it on the mic always. Doesn't have the body, like should not be there, bro. You know what I mean? Should not be there. And the shit that this guy would do, oh, I mean, there's just highlight reels of just this guy doing the most insane shit ever. Like, you want to talk about wrestling being fake, all right, whatever. But this guy is fucking like about to kill himself.
Yeah, and Long Island guy too, which is really cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I almost put him in my top. I just saw an interview recently. I think I want to say it was Hulk or someone like big like that said like something about how like he would never wrestle Mick because of like kind of like he was kind of like shitting on Mick Foley, and Mick Foley was
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
he was like that guy will never wrestle me because I'm too hardcore. Like and like everyone says like Mick Foley was a good wrestler, even though like you said he was
Great.
up. But I mean, Dude Love, Mankind, uh,
100%.
Cactus Jack, like him and Terry Funk, like those matches go down in probably the best matches in wrestling history. Not even just like WWF, WW, like WCW, like those
Yep.
matches. Like you said, putting your body in the line. I mean,
Insane.
but
Who's your two? Who's your two?
my number two is the complete opposite. It's Ric Flair. I mean,
Oh,
that guy, biggest shit talker. His promos were insane too, man. And he knew how to take a bump, man. The guy can wrestle. Like it wasn't like he was just a pretty boy. Like
yep.
he knew how to wrestle. So like I always loved watching him. Like he would just get so amped.
No, 100%. I feel like his like whole persona too, like the last like 10 to 15 years, he's even just grown. Like,
Yeah.
rappers songs about him, these 30 for 30s coming about him. You're hearing the stories of this guy drinking, then wrestling for 60 minutes, the 60-minute man, the
Yeah.
promos he would cut. Ric Flair is my number three. I totally agree with you. Ric Flair is just on another level. Like his just everything about him, like I said, in the past 10, 15 years, I feel like he's his like everything's just grown. Like people just more and more people knowing about him. Bro, I totally agree. Ric Flair, number three, the nature boy. Woo.
Yeah.
Who's your number three?
Number three is Razor Ramon.
Ooh,
Scott.
yeah, I love Razor.
Yeah. I mean, him and Kevin Nash are probably one of my favorite tag teams ever. I actually just started watching the Who Killed WCW. It just came out on Vice. It's really
Yep.
good. So talk about Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, but yeah, Razor Ramon was that guy. When he used to flick his toothpick and he used to come out
Uh,
and the hey yo, like I mean, come on.
he killed it. Oh, his entrance too, his music, like yeah, Razor was one of the best, man. What
Oh
was
yeah,
one of the best? I couldn't agree more. My number four, I'm gonna switch it up. I mean, I don't know if this is really switching it up. To me, like He's one of the best of all time. Like his mic skills, I gotta put him on this list because I can't have a top five of my favorites and not have this guy on the list. And it's The Rock. Like I know a lot of people might shit on him and hate him, but like, yo, The Rock, it was the man in the 98, 99, like 2000 time. Stone Cold was hurt a lot. He wasn't really there as much as people remember. Like we remember a lot of this stuff because we love Stone Cold, but The Rock, guys like Triple H, Mankind, they were on the show every night, like killing it. The Rock was just on another level, bro. That how many catchphrases does this guy have? You know what I mean? Like you could just run it off. Most guys have one or two. He had like fucking 10.
Yeah, and I
And
like
a solid wrestler.
his evolution too. Like being in the nation and then being by himself, and then like even by himself, like having different like he's like different not personas, but like you said, like those he had so many his skills on the mic. And I remember when The Mummy came out and people were shitting on him and saying like he wasn't a good actor, and now look at him killing it. He's got to be like one of the most successful out of the ring wrestlers ever, and hands down, easily. Yeah,
who's
I
your
have
number four right now?
an unconventional number four, Big Van Vader. I mean,
I love it. I love it.
he came out with the mask on, and just the way he was a big dude, but he can move for a big guy. Like I don't know, him and Bam Bam were always like my two tops, just because they were like that big guy that can wrestle. Like it wasn't like he was
fire here.
dump. Like he can move. Like when he used to wrestle in Japan, like they loved him. They looked up to him like a god, and he used to wear that crazy big mask in Japan, and it was just different. It was like a different character, and I feel like I always thought like Vader was just like a tough guy that you didn't want to fuck with.
Yep. Yo, Vader. I love it. I love it. Top five fathlete, Vader and Bam Bam. They're fucking just on another level. On another level. If I got to go with my number five now, and I'm thinking there's so many like honorable mentions of guys I want to think of, just thinking back to when I was a kid, of guys I fucking hated. You know what I mean? Like just heels, like guys like fucking Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, like these lower card guys that just killed it, where I fucking really like hated these guys. But if I got to go with number five for me, I got to have him on this list too. One of the best of all time, wrestled forever. I got to go with The Undertaker. The first time seeing The Undertaker when I was like 5 years old, seeing this guy just not saying a word forever, legit, like so scared, like me being scared of somebody looking at this guy thinking like, yo, he came from the dead. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Ma? What do you mean, Dad? Like this guy's, look at him. Yeah, he was on another level, the way he moved. I really truly believe that if The Undertaker in 91 is coming up and MMA is as popular as it is now and stuff, he would have took a totally different route, because a guy that size with the athleticism that he had, he was just on another fucking level. A badass dude on another level. Character changes through the career too. Always, like I remember him in the late 90s, just always being solid. Undertaker's got to be up there for me. That's my number five right there.
Motorcycle Taker was crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean that was crazy. That was great, but that was just so wet. I remember it being like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. I remember, like you said, I remember when he came out and the lights went out the first time, and he came out wild. Like him and Paul Bearer, like Paul Bearer.
Bro, as a 5-year-old kid, like I'm legit scared of the Undertaker. You know what I mean? And everybody around my age was too. They're looking at this guy like, this guy is straight dead. He's the dead man.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, casket matches, the steel cage matches, like he was
Hell in a Cell, right? Yep.
Body on the line, man. That guy just did it all. And like you said, he was just a big dude. He definitely would have been an MMA fighter, I think. Just like solid. My number five, I just always loved this guy. I feel like he was one of those guys that you either loved or you hated, and it's Mr. Perfect. I just love the perfect plex, like him coming out, spitting his gum out and slapping his gum, and like just like better than everybody. I remember like the perfect T-shirt, like thinking I was the fucking man, and he was a good wrestler too, man. Like that's why I like guys that are sound wrestlers. Like, I mean, Eddie Guerrero could be on the list, Dean Malenko,
100%.
Like we'd even name Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart, obviously, but
I mean, which is crazy.
Right. This list, I was going to do 10, because I could do.
It's so hard to get to 5.
Right.
And then you're saying personal favorites too. We're thinking that way, where it's just like, who did you like? I got guys like Yokozuna, bro. Thinking back to him, I hated Yokozuna, but thinking back now, I love Yokozuna.
Yeah,
As a
yeah,
fellow fat guy, that guy was the man.
yeah.
Freak out.
I remember finding out he wasn't Japanese. I was like, "What are you talking about?" As a sumo wrestler, the moment.
Hey, that's our top five. We want to hear what's your top five. Put it in the comments. We'll be back with more. Top
Let's
five.
go.
Stop video. Stop recording. There you go.